What's up, people of the internet? My name is Dabicap, and today we're doing another gameplay analysis of PAX footage. I am joined today by Neon. Neon, say hello.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody on the internet doing today? I guess you can't really respond, but it's lovely to be here nonetheless.
They can say what's up down in the comments. I hope they do, as a matter of fact. All right, so it looks like we've got the black-green Econ ramp deck versus the blue-red. Oh god, I've got to mute this thing. Versus the blue-red control deck. So, who do you think is more favorably matched up in this competition?
I think it's the person who isn't Siractionslacks, because like no offense, I think that there were a couple of games that he kind of through, maybe didn't think through all of his plays exactly. Wasn't one of the stronger people in the competition. Hard to tell whether he was playing for the memes or what was going on there, but I definitely like the challenger in this position, given the fact that they generally were able to outdo him in the games that I saw.
Oh my god, I gotta pause real quick. He has 3 Savage Wolves in his opening hand. And next turn he can put Chin in mid lane and do Savage Wolf, Savage Wolf, Savage Wolf. If he doesn't do that, he's nuts, man. He's nuts.
No, there's lots of Savage Wolf action going on here. I mean, I think that we're both really big fans of the Savage Wolf, and I guess he doesn't have access to the another green hero, so he can't put one in every lane, unfortunately. But definitely a strong play to have access to.
Yeah, I misread it. It's a black hero come down, not a green hero. So going back to what you said about Siractionslacks, did you hear the golf club analogy?
Oh, I did not.
So this came from, I think, I forget who. Someone about, it might have actually been Richard Garfield, but they were talking about, does the player make the game or does the deck make the game?
Oh, right. Yes, I did hear about this.
Yeah. So basically, the analogy was, if you buy a top tier deck, that's sort of like buying top tier golf clubs, but fundamentally Tiger Woods with a stick is still going to beat me with a $10,000 golf club because he's just that much better at the game. So your statement about whoever's playing against Siractionslacks winning is kind of apt, because I really do feel like the player makes the game more than the deck makes the game. The deck helps, but honestly, the player matters most of all.
Well, and already we see here he's kind of actually having some problems. It feels like he's lost a lot of presence in that first lane. The second lane here, not going to be able to play anything. And given especially that the fact that sometimes you can forget in watching these videos that he's starting with a disadvantage and like, oh, actually Siractionslacks is on the other side. Sorry, I had it flipped in my mind.
Right.
But yeah, no. So I guess he's doing okay then in this round, all things considered.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he was only the challenger was only able to get off 1 Savage Wolf because, of course, Keith the Bold blocked him in lane 3, so he would have just died instantly. So that was smart of him not to play anything. And now he's looking at, let me see. All right, so we've got Chin coming down. Where would you put Chin in the situation?
I definitely like the idea of putting it in a lane without Bristleback.
Yeah.
It feels like there's a lot of possibilities for it to feed there in the second lane. So kind of want to avoid that. There's part of me that's feeling like you want to sort of abandon the middle lane a little bit. Maybe, hope that your opponent doesn't commit too much into there, and you can take out the Bristleback with the coup de grace later on, and maybe the next round. Is kind of my thinking. But I guess you put it in the third lane, which is okay.
Yeah, I probably would have put it in the first lane as well. So I'd be surprised if we don't see No Accident on Zeus. It seems like the obvious option. Yeah, there we go. Of course. And then let me see. There's we can do a lot of card draw over on Siractionslacks' side, which is probably fairly likely because he's got some blue mana he's got to use, so may as well start pumping that out as soon as possible. I don't disagree with his order of operation. He should have used Foresight first because well, I guess he could have cloaked first. It's just he's got to be mindful of losing his hero, I guess.
There aren't too many cards that the green-black deck has access to, I think, to kill the Luna, so it's not too concerned.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I'm tempted to put it on there just to kind of be safe in case there's something I'm forgetting, but still.
Oh, we have a red Mist Pillager. Things are about to go downhill. Luckily, the one spawns in front of the Phantom Assassin, so it's not going to get too much mileage, but he's going to have to deal with that. We got Truth to Powers, but that's not going to do him much good. I think the call here is Savage Wolf. And on the opposing field, God, he could play Fighting Instinct, but what's the point? I almost feel like in most situations, you just don't play Fighting Instinct. It's almost not worth the initiative. What do you think?
I definitely am not a fan of the card in most situations, unless you're doing something like very specific of saying like, yes, it accomplishes this goal. I kind of am not interested. I mean, maybe if you were already not giving up initiative, like it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I don't know. In this position, we have a few different items to buy between. So yeah, he goes for the Keenfolk armor, which is not one that I like very much. I personally think I would have just gotten maybe the potion of knowledge plus the cloak in that position. But what do you think about the Keenfolk play? This is the one that gives you +1 armor for every attacking.
Generally, I'm generally of the opinion that the armor items are the weakest of the three. So spending a lot of gold on that, just Plus we're up against blue. Like blue, this blue deck is gonna deal a lot of damage, like not through attacking things like conflagration, which doesn't really care about that, or like Echo Slam, which is gonna pierce it pretty well. I mean, obviously the red heroes are gonna suffer from it a bit, but just past that, I mean, I don't know. Unless you've got some way to taunt, which green-black doesn't, I say just forget it. Okay, so Siractionslacks has completely abandoned this lane. Looks like he's going to try and win lanes 2 and 3, which makes sense because his tower is about to go kaput.
Yeah, and this is definitely a lane that's looking like the kind of position where you could take an Ancient as well. You just have a lot of damage here already. Like even next, if you don't next round, if you don't contribute anything else to that lane, you're doing something like 20 or 30 damage.
True. Well, he's got Red Mist Pillagers in lane 2, so I mean, that could very easily swing in his favor as well. Oh yeah, and that's going to take out the. He's got to get the order of operation right. If he had coup de grace the. Man, order of operation is so important. Sequencing and initiative are critical in this game. Then we're left with two Red Mist Pillagers, and looks like lane 3 might actually decide this match.
Yeah, and it really is something that, I mean, we talked about this in our other video as well. It's especially something when you have an initiative opportunity to take a opponent's hero off the board in a situation like that. You block them from doing basically anything, and just gives yourself a whole bunch of extra freedom. So, unfortunate order of operations error there for our friend and the challenger seat, but does give Siractionslacks an extra opportunity to stay in the game.
This is a really interesting board state, actually. I don't see too many games like this where you have one side completely dominating lane 1, the other side completely dominating lane 2, and then lane 3 is like a dead heat.
It is something that you see it from time to time like this, but this is very stark of like who cares about which lane. And I'm actually kind of surprised that Siractionslacks committed in a hero to the second lane, given the fact that it kind of feels like your opponent has kind of abandoned it, and then the Red Mist Pillager, especially against the green-black deck, can kind of just cascade out of control. Wow, you're doing 37 damage to this Ancient here.
Well, the reason why is he wants to Thunder God's Wrath. But I think if he's going to Thunder God's Wrath, he should have done it from lane 1 instead of lane 2. Actually, I didn't know who came in with initiative. If Siractionslacks did not come in with initiative, then putting him in lane 2 actually does make sense, because he'll Thunder God's Wrath here for sure, almost certainly.
Yeah, that is quite strong here to be able to take down the Riley. I'm gonna have to do the math still of how much damage the opponent is doing to that Ancient, even in the case that Riley dies.
He didn't Thunder God? What is he doing? Siractionslacks, my friend, what are you doing? We just wasted 7 mana. That would have taken out Rix. It would have taken out.
It was for
Debbie?
the initiative to be able to do this play of being able to Fisher once it got here,
yeah,
which is pretty decent. You are blocking a lot of possibilities of your opponent. I mean, I guess you could have just Echo Slam first.
Yeah.
I don't know why you did it that, because it wasn't even necessary to do this, right?
Right.
Like, you could have just Echo Slammed and then held the Fisher ability for a future turn.
True. Well, Siractionslacks goes for style points. For sure. Okay, man, look at this board state. It's literally binary in all 3 lanes.
No. But definitely, there's a very strong possibility right here that we get a kill on the Ancient in lane 1. But yeah, because you just commit all of your heroes, all of your units into that first lane, and especially because of the Missive of Avernus, is going to contribute a bunch of bonuses across the board. Yeah, I think that this is probably going to be lights out for the opponent unless Action Slacks is able to put together something particularly saucy.
Yeah, I mean, it's lethal on the board right now. Jesus. And he's got initiative, too. If he just coup de grace, he wins, right?
I believe so. Yeah, there's just nothing that your opponent can do. I can't think of any card in the game in that position to get you out of it.
Even if he's Thunder God's Wrath, I mean, not Thunder God's, Thunderhide Pact, that's just winning in a different way. I mean, Action Slacks really needed a blue hero here. Yeah, okay. Then that's going to be game. So Action Slacks left. God, he really should have taken out Debbie. That extra 14 tower damage really added up. It's just, God, even the wolf is massive. So this was a nasty. And it's too bad because he's got only 3 health left in the third lane. So, wow, that was a fast game, actually.
It was, all things considered. But definitely this is one of those instances of, like, there were a few weird plays there over the course of getting close to the end of the game. But it really just shows how Lycan plus Wolf and Mists of Avernus, like, he didn't contribute very much to that first lane after he had kind of taken control of it. Right. It was just random creep spawns, Mists of Avernus bonuses, and all of that kind of stuff until he dumped the remainder of his resources there in the last turn to push the Ancient. So ultimately, that was a very good strategy given how things worked out. So I think that although there were some minor missteps from our challenger here, he generally played pretty solid.
Yeah, sequencing is the main thing. If he had smoothed out their sequencing, it would have been a better game overall. And it's a pretty good match. I just feel like Mists of Avernus might be actually an S tier card.
Man, it's really good in certain situations of, like, especially when your opponent's giving you time to accumulate that value. I mean, obviously, if your opponent is on a very aggressive deck, it isn't spectacular. If you have a bunch of red heroes that you're playing against, I could see it being not fantastic. But if they give you any amount of time and they don't have the great sweepers for it, you just build up so much value over the course of a game.
Right. And it's especially fitting in green because green has all these tough heroes that are really, really sticky. So they just get the buff every single turn. It's kind of nasty, actually. Yeah. So anyways, Neon, thank you for joining me today for this review. If you have any comments about this video, or if you want to see more game analysis, let me know down in the comments. I know this PAX footage is super, super stale, but don't blame me. Blame Valve. They're the ones who aren't releasing any damn content. So also check out my buddy Neon's channel. I will link him down in the description. He puts out tons of new artifact stuff as well, including podcasts, which I listen to every time they come out. So definitely check them out. Anything you'd like to say, Neon, before we go?
I also did a article that I released today that was on the economy of Artifact and giving my predictions about how much I think the decks are going to cost, which was a lot of fun to put together. And so check that out if you have a chance to. And it was a lovely time to chat with you. I love looking at this PAX footage, even if I've seen it before. Always coming back with a fresh lens, I think, helps me learn a little bit more every time.
Sure. All right. Thanks for joining me, man.